Ian here from Funner Computer. I want to talk a little bit about keys and doors, and then we'll get into some scripting and other fun stuff. First of all, the keys and doors work exactly the same way as the levers and or the switches and the moving platforms. If we get to the instance properties, door tag, I've changed them to pickles. That means that this key will open any door that has a tag of pickles. All right, let's look at these. Instance properties, pickles. And this one is pickles. And this one is also pickles. So when we play the game, here we are. Can't go through the door, but that key opens all three of them. All right, now perhaps you don't want to be behind these doors, so let's solve that problem next. Okay, so these doors, as well as the key and the player, are all on the everything else layer. But you can see that these metal doors here are on top, are above the player. This is the player file. How do we know that? Let's move over. Here's my player all the way over here, and it's outlined when this is selected. I can turn this on and off, and she disappears. So this is the character, but it's underneath all of these metal doors. I can drag this all the way up, and I kind of like her being behind the switch. So I'm going to drag that up there. Now, when I play, she should be able to go in front of the doors. Perfect. Okay, now what was really interesting about that was not the keys and the doors, but rather here she is all the way over here in her normal starting position, and yet when I played she appeared over here. Well, why did that happen? Well, I did something magical. Well, no, not really magical. I did some programming. I figured I didn't really want to have to go through my entire game just to test out this section. So I did something about it. I figured out, first of all, let's close this. I figured out where I wanted her. It was right about here, and that turned out to be about 1350 and 50. So somewhere around here. So if we go to my character and edit script, there it is. Now this is a gigantic script. There's lots and lots and lots going on here. It's intimidating, but the block that I was really interested in was when created. So when created, I decided to set position of myself to create new location at 1350. So those were the values that I wanted. I wanted the X of 1300 and the Y of 50. I created a new location and then set the position of myself there. So that means that as soon as this character is created, she immediately jumps over to this new location rather than where I set her to begin the game. Where can these be found? These can all be found in transform. So there's set X position, and then you can change this to Y, or you can create new location here and set position of myself to, and that's how you would do it if you wanted to move something from one place to another. This, by the way, is also how the teleporters work. We'll talk about those later. But now for something more fun. Alright, over here I am going to change the instance properties of this store, change it from pickles to kosher dill pickles. Delicious. Okay, now when I play the game, as you would imagine, First, she appears over there. I can get the key, and I can open these two doors, but this one doesn't open, because I want to do something fun. What I would like to do is to have some breakaway or some invisible blocks that will disappear when she touches them, so she could actually go up and over the door instead of going through the door. Now, I know in this position I could in fact go all the way over and get through this way, but that's cheating, and you want to prevent that in the future if that's what you want to do. But this is just a demo. Alright, so what I need to do is get rid of some of these. I'm going to go to the tile map. I'll click my eraser, and I will erase 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I go to the everything else, and I will go to my moving tiles, because these look right, and I will put one here as close to the grid as possible, but see where the grid where they are, but then actually going to put it on the everything else layer. So we're going to go 1, and then I have to actually select it again, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, now these have moving tile scripts to them. Well, I don't really want that behavior, so I'm going to remove script from all of these. Okay, now this does work just like this, but it's not exactly the behavior I want. You'll see. I get the key, go through 2 doors. Now I could jump, and then they disappear. They fly up and out. It's not exactly what I want. I don't want them to float away like balloons, although, hey, we have balloons in our assets, in our image set. What I want them to do is just disappear. So, do we have anything like that? We do. We have collectibles. By the way, where are the balloons? I thought I saw them. Oh, maybe it's in a different set. But there are balloons somewhere that might be fun to... there it is. Might be fun to bump it from underneath and have them release and go up. Okay, anyway, that was a side note. So these collectibles, we can score points, for example. And what happens is that when the player touches it, they disappear and the score goes up, or the lives go up, or something like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to... here we go. Oh, no, of course not. We're going to go to the scripts. And scroll down to the collectibles and the score collectible and edit. Copy asset, yes. Okay, now here is the entire script for the collectibles. Okay, now we don't actually care about increasing player score. This whole section is about increasing the score, and we don't care about that. So we can drag this entire bit into the trash. Okay, but we do want it to destroy itself so it disappears. Everything else is exactly the same. Exactly the thing that we want. Okay, so we're going to change this to let's see, disappearing doodad. Okay, and Save that. Do we want to save? Yes. And we should have, in our script, we have a score collectible. For some reason, the name did not change. So we'll go to this screen and we'll try it again. These kind of idiosyncrasies, these strangenesses happen all the time. And there we have it, disappearing doodad. Now we can put this script on these blocks, and now when we play, get the key, 1 door, 2 doors, can't go through that way, boom, I can go up and over. Thanks for listening.